All right, we're going to get started. Welcome, everyone. I want to let you know that today's forum will be recorded and posted to the DDS website so that those that are not able to join us today will be able to view it at a later date. And if you haven't looked at the website recently, previous forums are posted. You go to the homepage and you'll see Fourth Tuesday forums on innovative options. And then you can click on any month and you'll see a YouTube video, and that will be the recording of the forum. So welcome to this month's forum on innovative options. My name is Elisa Velardo, and I'm the Deputy Commissioner of DDS. The theme this month is assistive technology, and I could not be more excited to hear from the wonderful presenters who will be joining us this month. Assistive technology is one of the areas that's very exciting to be involved in, and it continues to evolve. I know in my own life, I have found assistive technology to be one of the key components when I've had family members who are aging and maintaining independence as they age. It's been really, really critical. I've witnessed it, and so it's really, really exciting to be a part of the evolution of assistive technology in our service system. Today, we will hear from members of our DDS team, experts from sister agencies, exciting advances in assistive technology within the provider community, and we will hear firsthand about how assistive technology is making a difference in the lives of some of our presenters. So I'll tell you a little bit about the format. We have 7 presenters joining us today, and we will plan to hold all questions until after the presentations are complete. If you do have questions, you can either write them in the chat, and the chat feature is available to you on that little toolbar, the little bubble. And if you choose not to use the chat, you can also raise your hand also in that toolbar. And if you raise your hand after the presentations, we can field questions in that way as well. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first presenter. Patricia Cimbola is from DDS. She is our assistive technology specialist, works with many of us around advances in assistive technology, facilitates the Assistive Technology Steering Committee, and she's going to share a little bit of an overview on assistive technology.
Thank you.
And I will share my screen.
Hello, everyone. And thank you, Deputy Commissioner, for hosting these forums. Are you able to share it? There you go. Okay. Assistive technology. Any item, piece of equipment, software program, or product system used to increase, maintain, and improve the functional capabilities of persons with disabilities. There are different variations of that definition throughout different states. It's a process of matching a person and technology. And in doing so, all aspects of the user's capabilities and needs must be considered. They should be able to perform these functioning activities in a variety of different settings as well. So in creating assistive technology, it's usually very individualized, very person-centered. Here we have 2 examples of products that were created specifically for one person in mind. Pellegrino Turri, he created the typewriter. He created that for a woman in his life who was blind and couldn't write handwritten letters. So you also know that everyone now uses typewriters as well as what's morphed into the computer keyboard. So it has its elements of universal design as well. The potato peeler Sam Farber created, he modified. So you have inventors that create specifically to a person, or they take an existing product and they modify it. He modified this for his wife who had arthritis. And you see these on the market. Now there's a whole line of them where the handle is just thicker so that someone with dexterity problems could grab the utensil and use it in a better way. Next slide, please. Just as those two products were considered universal design using 7 principles of universal design, you see that something like that's most common, which is a curb cut. For a long time, the sidewalk curb was a barrier for many people in a wheelchair. But then we found that the design was accessible to everyone in society. Women with baby carriages, bicycle riders, skateboarders, many different aspects. And those principles usually fall into place with a lot of different assistive technology devices. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. So if you're looking for assistive technology, if you think maybe an individual needs assistive technology, if you're a family member and you think possibly a relative needs assistive technology, you would go through the following steps. You would talk to your case manager, and your case manager would complete a screening tool to see if the assistive technology is necessary. If it's determined that that it is needed, they'll then submit a request for funding, and a provider will be selected to complete the evaluation. Good evaluators should always focus on all aspects of the user's capabilities and do everything they can to communicate directly to the individual. When the evaluation is eventually completed, a report will be provided, and the report will have a lot of information on it. And it'll also tell you what technology is being recommended, but also why is the technology being recommended? Was there another AT that was used previously? Is it still in use? And if it isn't, they should be asking why not. The team will review the assessment after it's completed and they'll determine what training may need to be done or what assistive technology tools are needed. They will go over the review and the recommendations. Then they will work together to produce an action plan and measurable goals. These measurable goals, they will help the individual complete the task or achieve the desired effects that the device was meant for. There should be a good understanding of how to gather information and interpret the data, because the data does need to be kept, because it's a collaborative effect, these evaluations, and they exist for a long time. They're always added to. It's never an evaluation is done and left. They are constantly being added to and adapted to. So thank you. Assistive technology across the lifespan. We're currently taking this across the lifespan course, and it's an excellent course. Could you go to the next slide, please? Okay. AT can help people at any age in all aspects of their lives. I'm sure we're all starting to see that. I came into technology a little bit later, being at 52, but it is definitely in every aspect of my life. And I see the technology within my children from when they were younger till now. But in the different aspects that it can help at home, it can help at work, and it can help in the community. It can help children to maintain optimal development, promote inclusion, assist adults in being successfully employed, enhance communication, increase independence, and assist individuals to live self-determined lives. We are going to see a lot of changes in technology as artificial intelligence advances, as virtual reality advances, and as machine language advances. I see in employment, I see virtual reality having a huge part in the training of individuals. Without even leaving your house, you can train how to do a job within the virtual reality realm. So there's a lot of good things coming. Please go to the next slide. Enabling technology. A lot of times I'm asked, what is enabling technology? Why say assistive technology? What's the difference between assistive technology and enabling technology? Enabling technology is basically an umbrella over remote supports, over assistive technology, over different forms of technology. It encompasses all of them. So here at DDS, we are doing, we have received ARPA funds, the American Rescue Plan Act funds, federal funds that we are doing for, we're doing different initiatives with those funds. And it's a very exciting time. And if you have a chance, view the recordings that you'll see on the site. If you go to the sites and you put in the ARPA funding, our past Deputy Commissioner Peter Mason states, he says, it is a generational thing. It is a huge opportunity for DDS, and it really, really is. We are at a point right now with the technology moving as fast as it is, having the funds to invest in the lives of individuals with intellectual disabilities and to bridge that digital divide, to bridge that gap between those who have access to technology, the internet, and digital literacy training, and those who do not. We're just entering the virtual reality realm, and it's a really good place to be. For once, we could be in a situation where individuals are ahead of the technology curve, not behind. So digital inclusion is a very, very important part of this initiative. So next slide, please. So how did we come to the initiatives that we're doing? The reasoning was, as I said, to close the digital divide, avoid product abandonment, find cost-effective ways to the right to technology for the needs to optimize independence. So finding the right technology to the right person. And we have different goals and objectives. And coming to the different focus areas, these are the goals and objectives that we took into account. Create an educated and innovative community of stakeholders, develop and follow through to achieve desired outcomes, and sustainability. Sustainability is extremely important. Next slide, please. ARPA initiatives focus areas. So the stakeholders are individuals, families, providers, and DDS. And all of the initiatives are focused around those stakeholders. Education is key. Knowledge is everything. All the stakeholders must be educated in different aspects of assistive technology, remote supports. What is assistive technology? How is it used? How can it be best used in my life? Evaluations, identifying AT and remote supports needs. We're working on educating people within DDS to become educated on how to do evaluations and to recognize assistive technology needs for individuals. AT device expansion, exposure and access to tools for societal digital integration. It's not enough to just put assistive technology in the hands of people. They need to be educated on how to use it. How can it benefit them? How can it help an individual be inclusive in society, in today's digital society? Because it is necessary. There's very few things that you can do without a computer or cell phone. If you have to apply for a job, you need to be online. For a while there, you couldn't get a COVID test unless you were online, because you couldn't just show up at CVS and get a COVID test. So there are more and more things happening online that you just can't do anymore. You can't, like I said, you can't drop off a resume anymore. You have to go online. Employment, many opportunities in our employment through the use of assistive technology and technology in general. Remote supports. In December, we will be having a forum. Lisa will be hosting a forum on remote supports. And people living independently using different technologies to have face-to-face technology and to live a more independent and better quality of life. So innovation, as I mentioned, some things, some technologies that I mentioned with innovation. The future is here now, and it's coming quite rapidly. And the pandemic kicked it into overdrive. So it's a good time right now. You're going to see a lot of changes coming. Next slide, please. So these are some of the initiatives that we're working on right now, and I'm only going to go over a couple of them. One of the ones that we're rolling out right now is AT&Me. It's a peer-to-peer learning and teaching experience. So individuals will have the opportunity to learn about different technologies. There'll be a backpack, a computer backpack, and within that backpack, there will be a headset, a hotspot, a cell phone, computer device, and they will learn how to use these devices, but to the simplest form on how to turn them off, how to shut them off, turn them on, turn them off, how to, if you get a cell phone, you just can't start talking into the cell phone. You have to know that you have to have a plan. If you get a computer, you just can't turn it on, you're not going to go online. You have to know that you have to have a plan in order to get online. So it is from the simplest to a little more complicated things, but overall, it's really how to survive in society with the necessary tools that everyone needs. It is to the point now that I don't know about you, but if I leave my house without my phone, I'm thinking of driving back. That's how important that technology is in all of our lives. So that is one of the different initiatives. We just did the NOOs, which are Notice of Opportunities, which assisted quite a few different families and assisted them with different assistive technology that they needed. And also, we will be putting assistive technology in different locations, upgrading the respite centers, and many different. There'll be other notice of opportunities also that will go out. But there are several different initiatives that are going out. You see one there that's virtual reality, awareness, social and skill development. As I was mentioning with employment, they've found many different companies, especially the larger companies, are now using virtual reality as training. Walmart is huge into using the virtual reality. So looking at ways to bring that to DDS and make it accessible for individuals. If we want to go to the next one, please. How am I doing for timing, Lisa? I was afraid I was going to go over. But, oh, there we go. Thank you. Innovation. Innovation is key. I'd like to, we'd like to go to different universities and have them assist in finding cost-effective ways to use technology to assist in resolving DSP shortages, and just how to improve the lives of individuals, and having some of the different universities partake in that. So remote supports, we're also doing different things to promote remote supports. We're currently working with Quinnipiac University, assisting us in promoting remote supports, and recently found out that they have an ability department with journalist students that write about disabilities, which was a great find, and it's a great collaboration with Quinnipiac. But we're also collaborating with different agencies. It's really important to collaborate with different agencies to try to reach the goals that we need to reach, because it shouldn't be done alone. But as I was saying, if you get a chance, listen to the tapes that are online, with the recordings that are online, DDS. Even the other day, I went back and listened to the Seeds of Change that Commissioner Jordan spoke about. And if you read the 5-year plan as well, you'll see a lot of stuff about AT. It's something it's been well thought out. We've been thinking about it and working on it for quite some time now. And it's going to be a very important part. So thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. I'm going to stop sharing. Thank you. That was a great overview, and you covered a ton of information in really nice way. So thank you so much. And I saw some thumbs up. Next, I'd like to introduce Arlene Lugo. Arlene is the Program Director for Connecticut Tech Act, a member of our statewide steering committee, and a great resource for those of you who haven't connected with her yet. Arlene, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. Thank you so much. Will you be sharing your screen or would you like me to?
I will share my screen. Give me one moment.
Okay.
And I
Sure,
will
thank you.
also let Jacob and Dwayne know that you're up next after Arlene. So here we go. Hold on. Share.
Well, while you go ahead and get the PowerPoint up, I can begin talking. Oh, there we go. So hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me. I'm Arlene Lugo. I see a lot of familiar faces, so it's good to see you all. I'm the program director for the Connecticut Tech Act Project, which is a very small program made up of myself and my staff person, Muriel. And then we have a lot of partner agencies in the community, some of which are here today, that do a lot of the services for the Tech Act Project on our behalf. The Tech Act Project has been in the state of Connecticut since about 1992. And I've been on board as a program director since about 2006, so for a long time now. Yeah, you can go to the next slide. So the whole purpose of the Tech Act Project is our mission is to increase independence and improve the lives of people with disabilities by increasing access to assistive technology for work, for school, and for community living. Basically, helping you get access to AT for whatever aspect of your life that you need it or want it for. And we do this by, next slide, please. Providing core services. So the Tech Act project is one state AT Act program. This is a federal program, and every state and U.S. territory has an AT Act program. So in Connecticut, it's us, and all of us provide these same core services. So if you have family or friends that live in another state, they have an AT Act program too that they can tap into to access these services. In Connecticut, we offer assistive technology device demonstrations, device lending. We do recycling of AT. We have a financial loan program so that if there is no other funding source or if there's a balance, let's say, maybe DDS can help pay for some of it, but not everything, our loan might be a resource for you. And then we provide information and assistance and a lot more. On the side of our screen here, you can see a list of our AT partners in the community. We work with CREC, EastCon, the ATEC Center in Meriden, the NEAT Center, the CERC Library, and UCP of Eastern Connecticut. And so you can find some or all of these services and programs at our AT centers. And then some of the services like the financial lending are offered directly through myself and my part-time person, Muriel. Next slide, please. So I'm just going to go into a little bit more in depth about these services so that you have a sense of what they are and how they might be able to help you. So an AT demonstration is basically an opportunity for you to interact with a device or several different types of devices. For example, let's say keyboards or amplified phones. There might be one that you want to try out to learn about all the different features, or there might be a few different types so you can kind of compare and contrast the device and essentially make an informed decision about whether or not that's the right device for you. A lot of our AT partners do these services, and as a result of COVID, we had to shift to virtual demos, which is not as easy, but they are still available. And we are back to doing in-person demonstrations, but I would recommend that you give them a call to schedule an appointment because some of our AT partners are able to take walk-ins and some are not. So just in case, it'd be better to call them in advance. Next slide, please. An AT device loan essentially allows you to take that device that you've tried out and bring it to the environment that you plan to use it in. So maybe it's at home, maybe it's at school, or maybe it's on the job, and really get a chance to interact with that device in that environment. Use it for several days, weeks if you need to really see if the device is going to work the way you expect it to. Over time, you'll know if it does or doesn't. And if it doesn't work, that's okay because we helped you make an informed decision and you didn't go out and buy the wrong device. If it doesn't work, we try to get you a different device to try out. And eventually we hope that you find the right one that matches your needs. And then we know that you're being provided with the right device for you. Next slide, please. So this is a bit of a continuum. You start with a demonstration, you do a loan, and then let's say you decide on a device that you want. Well, we offer device recycling, and the Need Center is our primary partner that allows you to find devices that are gently used and in great condition that you might be able to get at a smaller price. And actually, here we have 2019, we had a cost savings to individuals with disabilities and family members of $267,000. And in 2020, that number was just a little bit less, $237,000. But the intent of the device recycling is that sometimes people do purchase the wrong device and now they're not using it. Or maybe they got a better device and they're not using the second one. So they donate it to NEAT. So if you have any items you're not using that are in good condition, you could donate it. And then it gets, refurbished, repaired, sanitized, especially after COVID. It's really key that we make sure things are sanitized before they go back out to people. And then especially if you needed a secondary device, it's a really good way for you to get something you need at a lesser price. So this is a really important program that allows us to do cost savings to individuals. Next slide, please. And then let's say you identify a device that you want and you can't find the funding for that device, or maybe you can't find all of the funding. We offer an alternative financial loan program, and this really helps people to purchase those items that they want or need. The one good thing about the Tech Act project is that, many programs will only help you obtain the device that you need or that you require. Insurance will help. Oh, sorry, I thought the screen changed. Insurance might help you purchase items that are related to your medical needs, or you might be able to get a device because you need it for your independent living. But let's say you want a device for recreation and you don't have the funding up front to pay for it. Well, the AT loan program can help you with that. So we want you to get whatever device it is that is going to work for you, that you want or need. You can borrow anywhere from $500 to $30,000. And we're flexible. We can do loans up to 10 years. And the reason why that's important is because if you're a person that needs a modified vehicle, you might need the $30,000. If you're looking for a computer, a gaming computer with software, you might need $500 to $1,000. We'll work with you to make the payments reasonable. And what's also really good, and this is really important for people with disabilities that may not have great credit because of medical bills or because you just haven't had a chance to build your credit yet. If you work with us and you pay off that loan, it does help to improve your credit, and that's something that helps you down the line as you move on into your independent living. The other thing that we do is and this program is overseen by my staff person Muriel, is anytime anybody calls for a loan or applies for a loan, we will help you find funding that maybe you don't have to pay back first through grant funding and other resources that we're aware of. So it helps for you to even call Muriel just to find out what might be available to you, even if you're not applying for the loan. But it is a great resource if there is no other funding source to help you get the device that you're looking for. And I put the link in the presentation where you could find our application and learn more. The other program we offer, which I really love, is our National Deafblind Equipment Distribution Program. It's kind of a mouthful, and this is through the FCC, and in Connecticut, we call it Access Through Technology. And this program only serves a small group of individuals that have a combination of deafness and blindness or low vision and hearing loss. But if you have anyone that you know or yourself have this combination of deafness and blindness, then we're extremely happy to provide you with a free assessment. We will provide you with the technology that you might need, like computers, laptops, smartphones, amplified phones, software, and lots more. And we also provide free training. So it's a great program. On the bottom here of this slide, there's a picture of these two young girls that had vision loss and hearing loss and got free Microsoft Surface, free mice, software, and training to learn how to use it. So if you or someone you know have a combination of deafness, blindness, low vision, or hearing loss, let us know. We really want to serve you. Next slide, please. So Patricia already covered this. What is assistive technology? And she gave you the definition. The definition is from the AT Act, at least the one that we use. And like she said, you might see a variation of it. So we can skip this slide because you already heard the definition. But what I would like to emphasize when we talk about assistive technology is really is any item that helps a person with a disability to increase or maintain their functioning. But, some people think about AT and they assume that it's going to be something super expensive and it's going to be really hard to learn how to use. And so I always like to talk about the AT continuum. When we consider AT for a person, we always want to start on the lower end of the continuum. And what we mean by that is that the device, it doesn't have to be complicated. It might not take a lot of training for you to learn how to use it and kind of integrate it into your everyday routine. And if we can find a device that meets your needs on the lower end of the continuum, then that's great. Everybody's happy, doesn't cost too much to purchase it, and you can start using it right away. If that device doesn't meet your needs, we move up the continuum to like mid-tech devices that might be a little bit more complicated, might require more training, might cost more. But if that's what meets your needs, great. Then we kind of stop right there. We don't have to go all the way to the high end. But if the device still doesn't meet your needs, then we do move up the continuum to the high end of the continuum where we know that a device might require much more training. It's probably going to cost more. You're going to have to think about repairing and replacing it and that kind of thing. But if we start on the low end of the continuum and we find the device that meets your needs, we stop there and we just, help you learn how to use it. And then you kind of go on your merry way using that device. And we only go up the continuum if we have to. And sometimes we do have to. And that's where we go back to helping you find the funding that you might need to help you get that device. Next slide, please. This is just a slide with lots of pictures on it. Like when we do these presentations in person, what I love about them is that we get to bring devices out, you get to interact with them, see them, touch them. But in this type of virtual training, we don't have that opportunity. So I just put some pictures to share with you some different types of assistive technology from different alternative mice, a talking pill reminder, smart home technology. That's kind of the picture in the middle there. It's really big right now. I know that Patricia talked about virtual reality, fitness bands. I have a picture here of a person using a CCTV that magnifies printed material for them because they have low vision. And then the other picture I have is of a person using a power wheelchair and next to a pickup truck. And the pickup truck is actually going to lift the person in their chair and put them into the driver's seat. And that's the kind of device that we consider to be on the very high end of the continuum and it's going to cost the most. And that's where our AT loan program can really come in handy to help you. If you are a person who will be driving or will be a passenger, but in your own vehicle, we would love to help you with that as well. Next slide, please. One of the other really important definitions when we talk about assistive technology is AT services. It's really important that they go hand in hand. AT devices, they're concrete items that you can touch and feel and interact with. But it's really important that we don't just provide a person a device without providing them the AT services that go hand in hand with it. And AT service is any service that directly assists an individual with a disability in selecting, acquiring, or using that AT device. And so that could be evaluating, which Patricia emphasized, would be part of some of the initiatives she's talking about. Evaluating a person for their needs, matching the person to the device, training them, which is such a key component to helping the person use that device and using it to the fullest. Being prepared for repairs and maintenance of the device, and then reevaluating if things change, whether the disability progresses or for whatever reason, maybe the environment changes, then you would want to reassess again. Next slide, please. Oops, I just kind of covered this without showing you the slide. Sorry about that. You can go ahead to the next slide again. And then this is probably the biggest question I get. Who is going to pay for the device that a person needs? And so, the Tech Act Project, we're a statewide program. We cover the whole state. Like I said, we work with our partner agencies to deliver the services that we have to offer of demonstrations, device lending, recycling of equipment, the financial loan program. We do presentations and much more. But we also try to work with school districts who provide AT for kids who are in school up to 12th grade, up to 21, if they need that device to access the curriculum. Adult services agencies like the Bureau of Rehab Services and the Bureau of Education Services for the Blind provide AT for people who need those devices to work successfully. DDS, of course, is one of your resources. And then there are also DSS waiver programs like the ABI waiver, Community First Choice, where AT is built into those waivers. Employers are required to provide accommodations, which can include assistive technology, if the person requires that accommodation to perform the essential functions of their job. So if you are working and you need AT, we can help you work with your employer. The one-stop centers or the American Job Centers are also places where you might have access to AT for demonstration and lending, and then potentially to help your employer provide that AT that you might need. And then I listed a few other places, the VA for veterans, AARP or for senior centers for older adults who are 60 and older. And then, of course, there's always private pay. You know, just like anybody else who might want some technology, sometimes we do have to pay out of pocket, but always keep in mind that our AT loan program is an option as well to help you with that. And then lastly, I left my contact information. The Tech Act Project is very happy to hear from you. We're happy to help if you have questions about assistive technology, if you're not sure which AT partner to connect with, if you want to follow us on our social media. I would say Facebook is probably the one we use the most. And if you want to sign up for our newsletter, on the bottom right-hand corner of our website, we do try to issue an electronic newsletter quarterly, sometimes more, but usually quarterly, with a lot of good information about AT and things that are going on in our state. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for allowing me to have some time here during your forum. And I'll go ahead and mute myself and see if there's any questions at the end.
Thank you so much, Arlene. I told you I was excited for today's forum. This is great information. Jacob and Dwayne, are you with us?
Yes, just give me 1 second.
And I'll cue you up as you're getting ready. Arlene said something great as she showed the pictures of different types of technology, how nice it is to actually be able to share the technology. And so we have Jacob Toch, who is a assistive technology user, and Dwayne Dyer is there assisting Jacob with filming, and Jacob's going to take us through some of the technology that he uses in his day-to-day life. Welcome, Jacob.
Okay, so Elisa, I am currently unable to share my video. Does someone else need to release their control so I can share?
We can see, I can see.
Yep, we can see you.
Okay, you could see full screen?
Yep. Yep, we can see Jacob.
All right, perfect. So, hello everyone. My name is Dwayne Dyer. I work for DDS out of the South region. I am an assistive technology specialist, and it's my pleasure to be here today with my good friend. Would you like to tell everyone your name and a little about yourselves?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Toast. I live in New Horizons village. I use this technology throughout my day because I need to use technology because it's easy for me to use the technology. I use it throughout my day to help me do things, to set reminders, and to set alarms. And the technology that I'm about to tell you guys with is Google and Siri. I use Google for my TV, my Xbox, and the volume and to change the channel because I have a hard time doing it with the remote. I can do it with the remote, but I find it easier to do it with my voice.
Beautiful. Can you start by showing us how you turn your lights on?
Of course. Hey Google, turn on bedroom lights. Hey Google, turn off bedroom light.
Nice. Can you show us how you turn your TV on?
Yes, I can. Hey Google, turn on bedroom TV.
Okay, turning on the bedroom TV.
Okay. Can you show us how you change the volume?
Hey Google, volume down on bedroom TV.
All right. How about changing the channel?
Hey Google, channel 133 on bedroom TV.
Got it. Showing 133 on bedroom TV.
Excellent. Why don't we turn the TV off?
Hey Google, bedroom TV off.
All right, turning the bedroom TV off.
Hey Google, turn off bedroom TV.
All right, turning the bedroom TV off.
All right. We'll give it a second. Now, show us how you turn on your Xbox and have the TV switch to that input.
Hey Google, turn on Xbox One.
Got it. Turning on Xbox One.
Press the Y button to search. Press the View button to customize.
All right, perfect.
1 of 1. Notification from system. Hi Jacob. You're signed in.
All right, why don't we turn off the Xbox?
Hey Google, turn off Xbox One.
All right, turning off Xbox One.
All right. Would you like to show us how you set an alarm?
From which one?
Google.
Hey Google, set alarm.
All right, when's the alarm for?
What do you want it set for?
Let's set it for 4 o'clock today.
Hey Google, set alarm for 4 o'clock.
There, set for 4 p.m.
Beautiful. And now, why don't you show everyone how you use Siri to communicate with other people and send text messages?
Yep. Okay. Just a warning to you guys. My Siri may be a little loud, but I will show it to you guys right now. Hey Siri.
Uh-huh.
Not said.
What do you want to say?
Oh, wait.
Your message to mom says, oh, wait, really? Send it?
No.
Okay, I won't send it just yet. Let me know when you're ready to continue.
Let me try that again. To make sure. Hey Siri.
Hmm?
Send.
What app can I open for you?
Hey Siri. Hey Siri.
Uh-huh.
Text message Dad.
What do you want to say?
How is work going?
Your message to Dad says, how is work? Send it.
Yes.
Done.
Very nice. And now, lastly, you told me that there's some new technology that you think would be helpful in your home. You want to tell us a little about that?
Yes, I do. The technology that I am asking my good buddy Dwayne here to look into is the voice activated shades, because the shades that are on my windows now, they are hard to put up and put down. So I'm asking Dwayne to look into some new technology for me to use in my bedroom and in the living room for the windows. They're called voice activated shades.
All right. Thank you so much, Jacob, for sharing with us how assistive technology is helping you in your home. That's it for us. Back to you, Elisa.
Thank you so much, Jacob and Dwayne. That was an excellent demonstration, and it really gives a feel for how technology can be used. And I'm impressed. My Alexa never listens to me the way your Siri and Google listen to you. So great, great presentation. Kelly, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Welcome. I am going to
Hi,
call up
everybody.
your presentation. Hold on one second. Oh, and I just X'd out of it. Give me 1 minute.
Okay. While you do that, I can introduce myself if you like.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kelly Hardigan. I work for DDS. I am one of the 10 self-advocate coordinators. I am here to talk to you a little bit about technology that I use. If any of you have any questions for me, I will be here until the presentation is over. So, next slide, please. Or if you want to play my music. Is the sound working?
So yeah, if you hit the arrow down at the bottom.
Can you hear it?
Yes. Yep, we can hear it. Thank you.
Yes,
You might have to play it again, but we could hear it for a moment.
Elisa, you can't mute yourself.
You could hear it briefly. It was like,
Try to get out of it.
And then if you're muted, it won't work.
right,
If
and I don't know,
I'm
did you,
muted, okay, let me try this. Oh.
As a self-advocate coordinator, my focus area is assistive. Assistive technology is anything that makes an individual's life easier at home or at work. Assistive technology can range from being low tech, such as communication books, or better known as picture books, grips for silverware, or non-skid mats, to something high tech, such as a power chair, iPads, or something that'll automatically turn off the stove for an individual. I use a lot of this technology, so it's easier for me to promote it. I use it at work, I use it at home, and I'm currently using a lot of, I just bought my own home, and I'm going through the stages of making it handicap accessible. The state of Connecticut is doing an in-home assessment for me and my husband so we can be more independent. I'm going to now switch sides and talk to you a little bit about what I use for work. How I use assistive technology at work. At work, I use a laptop and an iPad to answer emails, to create PowerPoints, and attend virtual meetings. Since I have had my iPad, I have been able to do more tasks independently for work, such as using voice to text, to answer emails, and creating my own voiceovers. I also use apps such as Microsoft Teams and Zoom to hold meetings. PowerPoint and voiceovers. A voiceover is an option within PowerPoint where I can record a voice message and then I can add it to the slide so that I can read the slides in my own voice. I have trouble talking when I get in front of people due to my disability. So I pre-record myself talking so I don't have to stress out my voice and try to speak. I will let the voiceover play and add in extra information afterwards. I am able to present my PowerPoint on my iPad or my laptop. I can screen share on Teams so that everybody can hear them and see them. It is a struggle for me when it does not work. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Microsoft Teams versus Zoom. Teams and Zoom similarities. There are free versions available. Teams and Zoom similarities. There are free versions available. Both are comparably easy to use. They both have a chat feature and voice calling. They both have customizable backgrounds. They both have screen app and document sharing. Teams versus Zoom. Teams. You can record meetings on paid plans. It has 1080p except for live events. It is $0 to $20 per month to plan them, depending on the plan. However, if you already use Microsoft Office, it should be included. $4 is the lowest version you could start with. You could have up to 300 participants with the paid version. Zoom. You can record meetings on all plans. The default is 720p. The paid plans allow for 1080p. The price ranges from $0 to $19.99 per month. The paid version starts at $14.99 per month. You can have up to 1,000 participants with the paid version. Other types of assistive technology. Other types of assistive technology that I use include a tray table for my wheelchair, an Alexa, a 360 knife, and a KitchenAid mixer and non-skid mixing bowls. Not all assistive technology has to be plugged in. There are also low-tech options like my Hoyer lift that I use to get me out of bed. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and like I said, I will be here for questions at the end.
Thank you so much, Kelly. You're a tech whiz, and I'm looking forward to at some point seeing a presentation on the technology you use in your home. I think that's pretty cool as well. Thank you. Katie, are you ready? Are you set with the video?
No, I thought you were going to cue it up.
It has not come through, Katie. So I've set the settings so that you're able to share the video. I'll look again, but it had not come through the last that I looked.
Sent it a couple of times, but I can do that.
Would you like a moment and we can go to Elena and come back to you?
No, that's okay, because I was going to show the video at the end. So.
Okay.
So I'll go through my other stuff and then
I will look again. All right. Welcome, Katie Banza from STAR.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to share this today. We're very excited here at STAR. So I'm the executive director. We provide services in Norwalk, Westport, Weston, Wilton, Darien, and New Canaan. So mid-Fairfield County. However, we're the newbies on the block with assistive technology, and we've been working for the past a couple of years on an endowment campaign, a major endowment campaign. We've now raised 80% of our targeted funds, and a big component of this campaign was to create an assistive technology lab that would provide services to the Fairfield County, greater Fairfield County area, much like what you've heard today from other areas in the state where it already existed. We are hoping to expand it down in our area. So we are actually going to have our official announcement and opening at our annual meeting on October 16th. So you're getting a little preview here. But let me tell you what we've done so far. Our goal is very much to create an assistive technology lab. As we mentioned, like everybody else, we want to be able to bring assistive technology to children in our early intervention program, to kids in schools, and certainly for our adult services. We had the opportunity to utilize the governor's nonprofit grant funding during COVID, during the shutdown, and we completed a major renovation and redesign of our main office and our program space. And in the process of that, we were able to design an assistive technology lab with lending library. We have a reception area, 2 rooms designed and equipped for assessments, and a large training and demonstration lab so that we can have forums for individuals of different ages, different needs to come in and test and try various technologies and offer information sessions for families about what kinds of technology is out there. As I mentioned, we'll be making our official announcement in October. We've contracted with Enrico Melchiori, who has been guiding us in the design and the purchase of our equipment to start our library, and he will be the director of our lab. One of the things that I love the most about Enrico is I'm constantly asking, what can assistive technology do? And he responds back what do you want assistive technology to do? What is it the person wants to do that they're not currently doing? Assistive technology can solve lots and lots of issues, but you need to start very individualized, very person-centered, one person at a time. What is it that the person wants to do? One of the examples is we have a gentleman, Jay, who likes to watch TV, does not have the physical dexterity to use a remote control. He doesn't have the voice, the speech to use the devices like Jacob so great. Just was a wonderful demonstration using Siri, etc. But we were trying to figure something out. So we now have, Jay now has a light switch in his bedroom that basically he can turn on and off the light switch, push button, and it has the 4 controls to turn his TV on, off, change the channel, raise the volume, lower the volume. And the great thing is it never gets lost. So I kind of want one of those in my house right now. He's never looking for the remote. So what have we done so far? We've been working very closely with smart home technology. We received a grant from the Darien Fund to take the cottage in Darien that supports 6 individuals and to develop our first smart home. So some of the features, it's got all kinds of features, but some of that we have found that have been very helpful is coordinating the heating and cooling systems and being able to monitor that remotely. When individuals are complaining that their rooms are too hot or too cold, we can actually monitor that. We can anticipate it. We can correct it remotely. Maintenance isn't always having to run over. We can set alarms so that if it goes below or above a certain temperature for certain individuals based on their own needs, we receive those alerts. We have the doorbells, obviously the Ring doorbells and versions of the Ring doorbells, so that individuals can see who is at the door. They can remotely open the door or choose not to let someone in. And this has been a great teaching tool for individuals to make decisions about who you let into your home and who you don't let into your home. We've replaced the stoves with induction ovens, so people are less likely to get burned. We have smart refrigerators so they can keep their shopping list and send it right to ShopRite and have the deliveries made. We have the lighting controls, which are very interesting. They've been hooked up so that people can hit the button, the good night button, so that the hall lights come on to half, all the other lights go off. It's also hooked up to the fire alarm system so that when the fire alarm goes off, all of the lights go up to bright so people can exit. The music is controlled. We have found that now that they can have music and people can choose to have music in different rooms and out on the patio. The patio is used much more frequently now that the music follows them out there. And we have one young woman who uses a wheelchair and had not been able to open the door independently. Staff or her roommates always had to open the door. So she now has an automatic door with a button on her wheelchair, on her electric wheelchair, so that she can control access of getting in and out of the home. One of the things I want to share with some of the family members in the audience today is we're learning a lot that the first device isn't always necessarily the right device, and that service that I believe it was Arlene was talking about is so critical that you not waste your money buying a device that then doesn't work or that you outgrow. And so that's one of the things. The other thing is we found that with each bit of independence we're able to give individuals, it leads to a desire for more independence. And again, I think, Jacob, you did a great job demonstrating that. Okay, the TV works, now get the blinds to work for me. We found that with Ashley, who's using her automatic door. So Ashley now enters and exits her door independently. So now the next step is she got onto public transportation, no longer relying on our vehicles for transportation. And the parents may get a little scared, but I'm just going to share the fact that one day Ashley came home, got off the public bus, the bus left, she entered. she entered into the house, and staff unfortunately had been delayed at a doctor's appointment. So Ashley found herself home alone, which is not something that had ever happened with her before. So this became an issue, and I just said, well, why didn't she just call us? Because I know she's on the phone with her boyfriend all the time. And staff said, but she doesn't dial the phone. We dial the phone for her. So it was a call to Enrico. We have a new problem to solve. How can we help Ashley make phone calls without having to dial or push the buttons? And we introduced Alexa. So now with voice activation, she can call people who are programmed into her Alexa system. Now, is that going to cause some other issues? Dad was very concerned because I can't have her calling me 25 times a day. That may happen. So we work with Ashley to make sure that calls are not repeated and that they're made when they need to be made. So each little bit of independence is causing a new level of independence. What's great when she gets dropped off at her program here at Star, she independently goes up the ramp, and it's great to see that she has time, that there aren't staff constantly with her. But we quickly noticed that the button, it's difficult for her to push the button on our electronic door, and it doesn't stay open long enough for her. So somebody, it's great, a staff person just said, why aren't we making this hooked up to her wheelchair so she can get into the building that's familiar to her? So not only is Ashley asking for more independence, but people around her start to see ways to assist her in having more independence. So it's just very exciting for us. Through the DDS grant, we recently were given funding so that we're now working on making all of our homes smart homes using the technology that makes sense for the current residents that live there. I want to tell you about another device because, again, I think it's a learning process. We have an individual who is aging and is experiencing dementia and is now in a phase of wandering off. He'll wander off from home and he'll also wander away from his senior program. So not to eliminate the role of staff doing a good job of keeping their eyes on him, we just wanted a backup to make certain that he wasn't going to get into any danger. So Enrico did some research. We selected a device called Angel Sense, which was a GPS device that had great customer service. People answer the phone when you call. We loved the device. This particular individual, we knew he was not going to tolerate a wristband, and we tested it out, and he proved us right. That was not going to work for him. The device was able to be attached to clothing using kind of the magnets, like when you buy clothing in a supermarket and they use the magnets to get that device off the new clothes you're buying. So it's like that. It's very hard to remove, but this individual would not tolerate it on the outside of his clothing, on his arm. We tried it several ways, and finally we found that if it was put on the inside of his shirt in the back, he was perfectly fine with it. That was just great. So it was a GPS device that we were alerted where he was. It also had two-way communication so that we were able to communicate with him. He could communicate with us. Why this became very important is this young man does not have English as a first language. And again, as the dementia is progressing, he's relying more and more on his Hungarian native language. His sister lives in New York. She speaks Hungarian. The remote device is also queued up to her phone, so she receives alerts. If he does wander, she can reach out to him, speak to him, tell him to stand still, wait for help. It's just been an amazing communication and great device. Worked beautifully for several months. And then all of a sudden we noticed that within a 2-mile range of his house, it was no longer working. It made no sense to us. It worked at the day program, did not work at his home. So we did research, and in the research found out that the Wi-Fi tower had changed the bandwidth and upgraded and reduced the lower bandwidth. That's going to make sense. Basically, that's it. So the GPS device offered by AngelSense no longer was going to work. So we now are using GeoBit. It basically provides a lot of the same services. And it's been great. Does not have the same level of customer service. But my point here is that even when you find the technology that works, great, something's going to change. So it's constantly needing to be evaluated, tweaking it, and monitoring it. And that's what we find, that service component is going to be critical. We've been using communication devices for one of our individuals who graduated from high school, had a great communication device, but then there was no follow-up in our community for him once he graduated. So as the device became a little bit obsolete, as he wasn't using it, as our staff weren't trained, we recognized the need for us to have these services locally so that we could get him back on track and communicating using his head pointer to speak through his device and give him his voice. We've been using iPads in the apartments for individuals that are in our apartments. I will say that for the most part, they've been most successful for communication and emotional support. We have used them for some ed supervision. All the individuals can self-medicate, but we can monitor and look at things. We have found the key to the devices is having them mounted in a place that is convenient and comfortable for them so that they're not losing them or they're not available when we're trying to reach them. And we've also found that if they're mounted and their hands are free, they can hold things up so that we can help read labels for them or help them with other kinds of things that they need assistance with. And I'll just give a shout out to the Apple Watch. We've supplied Apple Watches to a number of our residents also in the group homes and or in the apartments. And they're programmed that they can call staff directly. They can call 911. And one of them is set up to monitor if the individual falls. And indeed, he took a tumble and he did not call staff. So we knew it was serious and we were able to get to him quickly. We had another gentleman who was in rehab due to an accident that he had on the job. And one of the things he needed to do for his recovery was to start walking. So when he got out of the rehab center and went back to his apartment, we needed to make sure that he was doing the steps that he was required to do. And all of you are monitoring your steps. It was great that we could monitor his steps and he could demonstrate that he was doing what he was expected to do. So it really, we're finding that the technology is giving individuals accountability and it's giving them independence. So we're so excited about all of it. Were you able to find the video, Alicia?
No, it didn't come through, Katie.
Okay, let me see if I can.
If it's going to take you a minute to queue it up, I just, in the interest of time, what I can do is go to Elena, and then when you're ready to queue it up, we'll end with that.
I think I'm all ready to go if you're good.
Okay, all right.
Do you have to share my screen or something? Let me see. I'm not sure how to share screen on here. Do I?
No, that box with the arrow, it's a square with an arrow pointing up. Do you see that on the box in the middle?
No. Oh, there we go. Okay, open share.
It'll ask you.
In my career, I've watched the trends of services go from congregate services to individualized services.
Is that working?
We could
So
hear
we could hear the audio.
You have the audio, but no.
No, we still see you.
Okay. Well, we'll save it for another day. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. If you want to send it to me, Katie, I can post it on the website with the recording.
Great. Okay, that'd be perfect. And I will say that it's a bit of a promotional video that we're going to be using as we're launching our Assistive Technology Center. So take that into account.
Thank you.
You'll get to see Ashley and some of the individuals using their technology.
Thanks so much, Katie. It's exciting to hear what's on the horizon. And Elena, welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Elena's our final presenter. And again, if you have questions, put your questions in the chat and we can field those, some of the answers, respond in the chat. Hi, Elena, welcome.
Thank you. I trust everyone can see my screen. Just shared my presentation.
Yes,
okay, terrific. All right, I will try to cram a lot, but important information in a short amount of time here. So I am Elena Fader-Hurlbert. My background is in speech-language pathology, and I work as the Director of Assistive Technology Services at the NEAT Center. And NEAT stands for New England Assistive Technology. We are part of Oak Hill. Oak Hill is the largest service provider for people with disabilities in the state of Connecticut. The two big ways that I'd say we're famous for are our group homes that are spread out throughout the state, as well as our special education classrooms that are also in different areas around the state. But another huge part of what we do is our Oak Hill centers. I say huge, but we are small, small in size, but mighty in power. We are a small assembly of different centers that focus on different areas of need. So you can read a little bit more information about the different centers here. These are all hyperlinks, so I imagine if I send this to Elisa, she can disseminate to all of you in case you want to learn more about the other centers, because again, today we're focusing on NEAT. But we do have the Center for Relationship and Sexuality Education, CRSE, which focuses on adaptive sexual health curriculums for individuals with disabilities. We have our summer camps and recreation program, so adapted summer camps in 2 different locations here in Connecticut to ensure, fun summer activities for all. We have our Eleanor A. Brooks Blindness Support Center, and then NEAT. So I'll get into those two in a little bit more detail here. So our Eleanor A. Brooks Blindness Support Center is managed by Steve Famigletti. And this, while it's separate from NEAT, we are 2 different centers. We are very much related in the sense that we both focus on assistive technology. So Steve and his center focuses on AT for low vision and blindness. So he would be your go-to for anything in that area of AT. But then we have our NEAT team. So think it's nice sometimes to put names to faces and faces to names, things like that. So this is the NEAT team. We are a team of AT specialists and speech language pathologists, AAC specialists, and other support staff. So again, we're here at the NEAT Center based out of Hartford, Connecticut, but serving the entire state. We work with all different areas of AT, so I won't really get into it. Essentially all different areas that have already been discussed today, general AT, smart home technology, augmentative alternative communication. 2 additional ones that I do want to point out is digital accessibility and gaming accessibility. So with our digital accessibility services, we provide support and information about ways to ensure that documents, digital documents, websites, social media posts are all accessible for people with all different needs. So that is a relatively newer service that we provide to anybody who might be interested. We also have gaming accessibility, so video game accessibility, ensuring that we have access to all who want to play video games, right? Maintaining that social connection. I was pleased earlier to hear that Jacob has access to some of these cool adaptive controllers too. So, just like he mentioned, these are ways that people with all abilities can play video games. So that's another area of AT that we focus on. So within all of those areas of AT, we provide services. So evaluations and consultations to identify assistive technology tools that might be helpful. But then also on the other end of it, trainings and coaching. How do you now implement this technology and make sure that it's meaningfully used within somebody's life? We have different community events, and we have our lending library. So I know Arlene Lugo had mentioned earlier about the importance of trying before you buy, right? A lot of these AT tools are super expensive and you don't know if they're going to work until you get your hands on it. So people who are members of NEAT for an annual fee can access our huge inventory of all different types of AT tools. Okay, so we have a smart home on wheels. It is a tiny home that's been outfitted with all types of smart home technology. We call it our mobile demonstration center. We are able to bring it on the road to conferences and different events, but we also hold events here at the NEAT Center in Hartford. So you can see just a few snippets of the types of technology that we have in this home. We're always adding new ones. And really just the goal is to provide people with awareness of what types of AT can support independent living, promote aging in place, reduce social isolation, all of those important areas. So we do have some upcoming tours of our smart home. These are free, open to the public, sponsored by AARP. I've highlighted here, we actually have one next week coming up on October 6th. And again, we just ask you register, but it's free and you can come get a tour, learn about what types of technology we have and figure out if it might be helpful for you, a loved one, somebody you work with. Each month there's a slightly different topic that we focus on, but really you'll get to tour the entire home. Okay, another section of NEAT is our adaptive equipment reuse program. So similar to what Arlene had mentioned earlier when she spoke about this, it's a way for people to donate used durable medical equipment that they no longer need or use. So again, this is expensive stuff. We want to make sure that anybody who needs access to this type of equipment can get that in their hands. So we receive donations. We have a team that cleans and sanitizes, refurbishes all of this equipment and sells it back for a fraction of the cost. So if you or somebody you know is in need of a certain type of equipment, maybe you can't get it through insurance or you just want to be able to quickly get your hands on it, please reach out to us. Stephanie Marquez oversees that department. So her email address is there if you have any questions. Okay, so different ways you can work with NEAT. Again, we serve the lifespan, birth to 3, early intervention, school age, transition age, all the way up to the aging population. We do work throughout the entire state as well as beyond at some different times. I alluded to the fact earlier that you can become a NEAT member. So all of Connecticut birth to 3 providers, all of Connecticut public schools, they are all members. But we are always looking for other people to become members too. Different state agencies, universities, individuals, professionals, you name it. We want to connect with you and figure out ways that you can access our lending library and use the other NEAT member benefits. Okay, so I do have the link here again if you're interested in learning more about becoming a member. We also get to interact with a variety of different grant and contract funded programs. The Connecticut Tech Act is one of them. And we just, come up with all kinds of unique, innovative opportunities because of these partnerships that we have. Lastly here, we do work with state agencies like DDS quite a bit. We have recently streamlined our process for receiving referrals and getting those services conducted and accomplished. So I have outlined here the process for that. If you are interested in a NEAT service, again, evaluation, consultation, training, it does start with our service request form, which is a referral, standard referral form. We try to use the one-time form as the go-to. So that's really the first step if you are affiliated with DDS and are looking to get an AT service covered. We work with the case managers to get that form completed, submitted to the region, get the funding approved, and then we can go ahead and schedule and conduct that service. So I'm certainly happy to spend more time speaking about this. If anyone is interested, you can just reach out to me later on, and we can talk about what you would need to do to get started with the service. The second option we've been streamlining a little bit is the use of the vendor service authorization if the one-time form is not an option for an individual. So really those are the 2 ways that we've been having great success with conducting these services. All right, wrapping up here, another important way that we like to connect with our community is with live and archived webinars. So my team here puts on a variety of AT webinars throughout the year, free for our members, low cost for the public, just to learn about AT. It's important to get that awareness. I know we've had a good foundation here today, but there's so much more that we can learn about and teach about and work together with. So that's another way that you can benefit from connecting with us. All right, so I have some information up here again. The Centers Connect is a good way to just to connect with all the centers. What do you know? Just to learn a little bit more about what we do at Oak Hill, our website there, sign up for our newsletter, and connect with us on social media. All right, well, any questions, please feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to chat. Thank you for inviting me today.
You are amazing. You ran through so much information.
I'm sweating a little bit, but hopefully
wow.
You get it.
Very impressive, and great resource. And so we can see the connections throughout the presentations. I'm hoping that people come away from today's forum with some contact information so that if you have additional questions, you've got some of the best resources in the state here to reach out to. And I know we're at the 4:30 mark, but I do have the video that Katie had shared. So if folks want to stay on, I'll run the 2-minute video. I don't see any questions in the chat and I don't see any hands raised. But while I run the video, if there are questions, again, feel free to put them in the chat. If you can't stay, I know we're supposed to end at 4:30. This will all be available on our website. So thanks, everyone. Here we go.
In my career, I've watched the trends of services go from congregate services to individualized services, and we're watching individuals with disabilities wanting more independence, more participation, and technology is just opening up all kinds of doors.
Assistive technology can cover vocational needs to educational needs and to needs within the home. There are many children who go to school who can't read very well, so we look at technologies that can then deliver the curriculum to them. In a vocational situation, a lot of the problems can be just in the ergonomic environment. So we would assess the needs of those folks, talk to their therapist, their physical therapist, their occupational therapist, and try to resolve the problems using technology as possible.
Maybe have limited capability in their own speech, can now use speaking devices which communicate for them and with them, devices which allow them to be safe in the kitchen when parents are worried about their sons and daughters getting hurt, allowing them to participate in ways that they hadn't prior been able to.
Independence is paramount. Also, safety is paramount. We try to reach academic goals, communication goals, entertainment goals, mental stimulation, keeping them engaged, keeping them moving.
When I think about what the individuals who we support tell us they want to be safe, they want to participate, they want to be loved, they want to be able to give back, they want to have a full life. Assistive and adaptive technology is going to help individuals to realize some of those dreams.
STAR is offering the evaluations, the implementation, the reports, and modes to get financing through assistive technology grants available through the state of Connecticut and the federal government.
At STAR, we're in the process of building a lending library for our assistive technology lab. Try it out, see what works, see what doesn't work. We also know that with children, they're going to age out of things that might work for 6 months and then they need a higher level of something. We want to be able to provide that at low cost or no cost to families so that technology becomes freely available to anyone who wants to try it.
So STAR's motto is lighting the way. The technology that we're bringing forward is going to light the way for them in their lives.
So if you're interested in learning more about our technology center or having access, please reach out to us. We are very interested in having you become engaged with what the possibilities of the future are for your child.
I'm so glad that we were able to include that. That was a perfect way to end. And I thank all of you for attending. The next Fourth Tuesday Forum is on community companion homes. November is customized employment, and December is remote supports, where we're gonna have some great presentations that highlight technology that's used in remote supports and highlight some of the pilot programs and remote supports that have occurred in the state. Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.